Fellow gardeners and earth stewards, we're facing a crisis that's literally beneath our feet. While we focus on what grows above ground, the foundation of all life on our planet is quietly disappearing. Today I want to share with you a remarkable discovery that could change everything about how we approach soil health and sustainable agriculture. Every minute, we lose soil equivalent to 30 football fields to erosion and degradation. This isn't just dirt we're talking about, it's the living, breathing foundation that has sustained civilizations for millennia. Modern agriculture, with its heavy reliance on chemical inputs and monoculture practices, has transformed vibrant soil ecosystems into sterile growing mediums that require constant external support to produce food. The statistics are staggering and sobering. We've lost 1/3 of the world's arable land in just the past 40 years. Conventional farming practices, including excessive tilling, synthetic fertilizer dependency, and the elimination of crop diversity, have stripped soils of their natural resilience. What was once a complex underground city teeming with billions of microorganisms, earthworms, and beneficial fungi has been reduced to little more than a growing substrate that holds plants upright while we pump them full of artificial nutrients. This degradation creates a vicious cycle. Depleted soils require more inputs to maintain productivity, leading to increased chemical runoff that pollutes waterways and further damages soil biology. The living web of relationships that naturally builds and maintains soil health has been systematically dismantled, leaving us with farmland that's essentially on life support. Hidden in plain sight, growing wild across tropical and subtropical regions worldwide, is a grass so remarkable that ancient civilizations built their agricultural systems around it. Vetiver grass, known scientifically as Chrysopogon zizanioides, was once considered sacred in many cultures for its extraordinary ability to heal and protect the land. For over 3,000 years, farmers in India, Thailand, and other Asian countries utilized vetiver not just as a fragrant grass for perfumes and traditional medicine, but as nature's own soil engineer. Historical records show that terraced mountainside farms in these regions remained productive for centuries, their soil held in place and continually enriched by carefully planted vetiver hedges that ran along the contours of slopes like green ribbons binding the earth together. The decline of vetiver began with the advent of industrial agriculture in the 20th century. As farming became mechanized and chemical dependent, traditional practices that had sustained soil health for generations were abandoned in favor of seemingly more efficient methods. The wisdom of working with nature was replaced by the promise of controlling it through technology and chemistry. Vetiver, with its patient long-term approach to soil building, couldn't compete with the immediate gratification promised by synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. What our ancestors understood intuitively, modern science is now rediscovering through sophisticated research and documentation. This forgotten crop holds keys to solving some of our most pressing environmental challenges, yet it remains largely unknown outside of specialized agricultural and environmental circles. The secret to vetiver's remarkable soil healing abilities lies in its extraordinary root system, which defies everything we typically expect from grass. While most grasses spread horizontally through shallow root networks, vetiver sends its roots straight down into the earth like living anchors, penetrating depths of 3 to 4 meters in the first year alone. In ideal conditions, these roots can extend even deeper, creating an underground infrastructure that fundamentally transforms the soil ecosystem. These deep roots function as nature's own soil rehabilitation system. As they grow, they break through compacted soil layers that prevent water infiltration and root penetration by other plants. This natural tillage creates channels that allow air and water to move freely through soil profiles that may have been sealed shut by years of heavy machinery or poor management practices. But the magic doesn't stop with mechanical soil improvement. Vetiver's extensive root system forms partnerships with beneficial soil microorganisms, particularly mycorrhizal fungi, that extend the plant's reach even further into the soil. These fungal networks act as nutrient highways, trading minerals and organic compounds between plants and creating a communication system that helps coordinate soil health improvements across entire landscapes. The grass's ability to cycle nutrients is perhaps its most impressive feature. Those deep roots access mineral deposits and nutrients from lower soil layers that remain completely unavailable to shallow-rooted crops. Through a process that scientists are still working to fully understand, vetiver brings these deep earth nutrients up to the surface layers, where they become available to other plants. It's like having a natural elevator system that continuously enriches topsoil with minerals from deep underground reserves. Recent university studies have documented vetiver's remarkable capacity for phytoremediation, the process by which plants remove toxins from contaminated soil. Research from institutions around the world has shown that vetiver can tolerate and actually thrive in soils contaminated with heavy metals, excess salts, and other pollutants that would kill most plants. As it grows, it gradually removes these toxins from the soil, storing them in its tissues where they can be safely disposed of when the grass is harvested. The renaissance of vetiver grass in modern agriculture represents one of the most promising developments in sustainable farming practices. Forward-thinking farmers and land managers worldwide are, rediscovering how this ancient crop can address contemporary challenges that chemical solutions have failed to solve. In large-scale agricultural operations, vetiver is being implemented as a living infrastructure that provides multiple benefits simultaneously. Farmers plant dense hedges along contour lines of sloping fields, creating natural barriers that slow water runoff and trap sediment that would otherwise wash away precious topsoil. These hedges require no maintenance once established, yet they continue to provide soil protection and improvement for decades. The economic benefits become apparent within just a few growing seasons. Farmers report significant increases in crop yields on fields protected by vetiver hedges, as improved water retention and soil fertility create ideal growing conditions. The initial investment in vetiver planting pays for itself through reduced erosion, decreased need for external inputs, and increased productivity of adjacent crop areas. Home gardeners and small-scale farmers are finding creative ways to incorporate vetiver into their food production systems. Urban homesteaders use vetiver hedges to create microclimates that protect vegetable gardens from wind and retain moisture during dry periods. The grass's tolerance for poor soil conditions makes it ideal for rehabilitating neglected garden areas or creating productive growing spaces in challenging locations. However, widespread adoption faces several obstacles that require thoughtful solutions. The biggest challenge is simply awareness and education. Most farmers and gardeners have never heard of vetiver, and those who have often don't understand how to properly implement it in their specific situations. Agricultural extension services and educational institutions are beginning to address this knowledge gap, but progress remains, pretty slow. Another significant barrier is the initial establishment period. While vetiver becomes incredibly resilient once established, young plants require careful attention during their first few months. In regions where immediate results are expected, the patience required for vetiver establishment can be a deterrent. However, farmers who have successfully integrated vetiver consistently report that the long-term benefits far outweigh the initial investment of time and attention. The long-term environmental implications of widespread vetiver adoption extend far beyond improved soil health on individual farms. When implemented across landscapes, vetiver hedges create corridors of biodiversity that support wildlife movement and habitat connectivity. The improved water retention and soil stability contribute to watershed health, reducing flood risks downstream and maintaining more consistent water supplies during dry periods. Carbon sequestration represents another crucial benefit that positions vetiver as a powerful tool in climate change mitigation. The grass's massive root system stores significant amounts of carbon deep in the soil, where it remains stable for decades. Unlike carbon storage in above-ground plant material that returns to the atmosphere when plants die and decompose, carbon stored in deep soil by vetiver roots contributes to long-term atmospheric carbon reduction. The ripple effects of healthier soils extend throughout entire ecosystems. Improved soil biology supports greater plant diversity, which in turn supports more diverse insect and animal populations. The enhanced water infiltration and retention provided by vetiver hedges helps maintain groundwater levels and reduces the severity of both floods and droughts. For gardeners and farmers ready to become part of this soil healing revolution, starting with vetiver is surprisingly straightforward. Small-scale trials in home gardens can demonstrate the grass's benefits and provide valuable learning experiences. Many agricultural suppliers now offer vetiver plants or can source them upon request. Online communities of vetiver enthusiasts provide support and guidance for new practitioners. So the key to successful vetiver establishment really lies in understanding that this is, well, an investment in long-term soil health rather than a quick fix. Proper planting technique, adequate spacing, and a bit of patience during the establishment period are absolutely essential. But here's the thing. Once established, vetiver requires minimal maintenance while providing decades of continuous soil improvement. Supporting research and educational initiatives that promote vetiver adoption, well, it really amplifies individual efforts. Agricultural universities and extension services need funding and encouragement to develop region-specific vetiver programs. And, policymakers require evidence and advocacy to create supportive frameworks for soil conservation practices. The forgotten crop that our ancestors revered, it holds extraordinary promise for healing our damaged soils and creating resilient agricultural systems for future generations. By rediscovering and implementing these time-tested solutions, we can build a legacy of healthy soil that will support abundant life for decades to come. Each vetiver hedge we plant is a vote for sustainable agriculture, a commitment to soil health, and a gift to future generations who will inherit the earth we choose to leave behind. The healing begins beneath our feet, one root at a time. If this guide has inspired you to explore vetiver grass and soil healing practices, please subscribe to the Humus Heritage channel for more in-depth explorations of forgotten agricultural wisdom. And, hey, share this video with fellow gardeners and farmers who are ready to become soil stewards. Together, we can heal the earth from the ground up.